Hello, so today we are going to be talking about Pradho Castle and give you a tiny bit of history, and then we're just going to get straight into the haunted happenings that seem to be going on. I visited this a few weeks ago, this place, and it's so amazing. There are a lot of bigger castles around it, so this castle was just so empty. It was such a beautiful day, you'd think it'd be packed, but we literally had the whole castle to ourselves, and it was really amazing. I'd really recommend going here. So the original castle was constructed of wood following the Norman conquest of England in 1066. Approximately a century later, the wood was replaced with stone. It survived 2 sieges by the Scottish forces during 1170s and exists as the only castle in Northumberland to withstand the Scots. And interestingly, Pradho means proud hill and was given to the castle because its high position above a steep hill and it looks over the River Tyne. The castle itself has been occupied for more than 9 centuries, and during this time there have been many unexplained activities that have been going on. Instances of a white horse has been seen soundlessly pacing the outer ward, as well as sounds of chanting over the castle chapel have been reported. In the East Tower, residents have heard sounds of a ball bouncing up and down the stairs, yet no one or no balls have been present during these occurrences. Probably the most mysterious event that's taken place, in my opinion, was in the hall of the Georgian Manor House. A very heavy oak tabletop suddenly fell to the floor during the night, thereby causing the whole house to shake. Occupants at the time thought a large explosion had happened. Inexplicably, the tabletop was so heavy, 3 men were needed to lift it back into position. How on earth did this tabletop just fall in the night? It took 3 men to lift it back up into place. So this was like a really weird break-in. Don't understand why they would have to have at least 3 men to push it over. And then what? They just pushed it and ran and didn't take anything? Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Now, during another time period, a couple who lived in the castle were in the living room, where the English Heritage Shop resides today. The husband previously suffered partial paralysis of the face, which eventually disappeared over time. One night afterwards, he was startled by sounds outside the window. Believing it was a prowler, the husband flung open the curtains, but saw a huge white shape rushing towards him. Many people believe this was the white horse of Pradho Castle, a more sinister spirit, or was it just a trick of the light? It was never determined. However, after this happened, his facial paralysis returned. Some staff and visitors claim to see an apparition which they have described as the Grey Lady. This story speaks of a crying woman who appears at a window before jumping. The story attached to the ghost became there was the figure of Maud de Lucy, who was broken-hearted when her knight husband was killed in battle, and who, on hearing the news of his death, jumped from the castle's highest window, from which she had watched for his return. Records show that Maud de Lucy married twice, firstly to Gilbert, Earl of Angus and Baron of Pradho, and then to Henry Percy, first Earl of Northumberland. Gilbert did indeed die in battle, but Maud remarried that same year, and her second husband died in battle in 1408 after she had already died. So Maud doesn't fit the profile of the crying ghost. So if it wasn't Maud de Lucy, who was it? Now, during lockdown, the castle owners and the castle staff started digging into this and trying to figure it out. And they discovered that Sir Thomas de Lucy had 2 wives, marrying again following the death of Margaret in 1341. Some records show that he married Agnes de Beaumont, whose birthday is said to have been 1323, but whose death is shrouded in mystery. So, since her death is so bit dodgy, they think maybe that she is the Grey Lady, not Maud de Lucy. The photograph you're seeing on screen right now is a photograph taken at the castle, and it shows what some say is the ghostly apparition of a young girl. David Wilkins took his camera to get some snaps of the castle lit up at night. He took a number of photos, and it wasn't until he got home that he noticed this one in particular. The photos taken before and after show nothing more than the landmark. Interestingly, his wife's mother, Brenda, who passed away last year, used to say that she could see a little girl sitting by her. She was very curious, naturally, to see if there was a connection, and she showed a psychic to see what she thought. And this is a quote from the psychic. The first reaction I had to the photo was that it's definitely a picture of a little girl. I would say she belongs to Pradho Castle. I think it's a benevolent message to let Brenda know that everything is fine because she has been going through a difficult time. Now, what you think of psychics is up to you, but I thought that was pretty interesting, and it is a really interesting photo. I don't think it's been debunked or anything, but yes, that's all the stories I could find about Pradho Castle that's been haunted. I would really, really recommend going here, guys. It doesn't get an awful lot of visitors. You could have the castle all to yourself if it's a rainy day. Honestly, might as well go. I might go back and bring my spirit box and do a little investigation one day. But really, really amazing landmark. I'd really recommend going. Thanks for watching.